Look at her, she's spittin' nerdy. Look at her, she's spittin' nerdy. Can't you see she's spittin' nerdy? Look at her, she's spittin' nerdy.
Hello, good morning. How is everyone today? I'm doing not too bad. My skin hates me today, but what are you gonna do about it? Today is my last day in a deficit before going back to maintenance for a week. I am filming this a little bit early, so by the time I post this, I probably will have already gone through that, but my mother's coming, so I'm trying to film some videos ahead of time so I can spend some time with her. But anyway, I just wanted to take this opportunity to kind of talk through how I go about being in a deficit while trying to preserve as much muscle mass as possible to keep my metabolism as high as possible, and also just to, you know, preserve all the hard work that I've done building muscle. So I'll be talking you through that today, but for right now, I just made a decaf coffee from Blacklight Coffee. My coffee guy gave me a little sample. I was at the farmer's market last time, so I figured I would give it a try. And then, this is something that I've also been wanting to try. I made some adaptogenic creamer cubes. Oh, they're a little bit stuck in the tray. That is unfortunate. And usually I would not be consuming something with calories in the morning just because I like to train fasted, but we're about to go to the farmer's market, and when I train fasted, I kind of need to train right away in the morning or else I get hungry, and then, you know, the training is not as effective. So giving myself just a little bit of fat in here just to, you know, give myself a little bit of extra energy. I just want a little something something in my stomach before I go to the farmer's market. I spilled coffee on myself. Got it all over my sweatshirt. Getting some chocolate from Nib and Stone, aka my chocolate guy. I got he has a new Bolivian chocolate, which is produced in a different way or something like that. It tastes real good. And then some of the Belize chocolate as well. And then I wasn't gonna get anything pickled, but I stumbled by the pickled place and they had pickled garbanzo beans, and I was like, that sounds very interesting, and I tried a sample and they're very good. So got some of those. Okay, so I just got to the gym, but before I get into my workout, I have to tell you guys about this. I was listening to an episode of the Mind Pump podcast, which, by the way, if you don't listen to the Mind Pump podcast, you are missing out. It is the best health and fitness podcast ever. But episode 1030 with Dr. Roy Vongtama, amazing freaking episode. Like, if you don't listen to podcasts, you need to just go listen to this episode. You never have to listen to podcasts again. Go listen to it. I'm not even halfway through it yet, but so far it's been all about the power of the mind in disease and how mindset can make such a big difference in your health. And the way it's presented is very science-based, and there's studies to back it up, and it's amazing. Highly, highly recommend. The holistic fitness nerd in me is just so happy with this episode.
I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm going in circles, going in circles. I should get away from here. There's a better place for me, better place for me. Trying to play my symphony, but there's so much noise around, so much noise around. Constantly fighting for space. I need to clear my mind, need to clear my mind.
So the next two exercises that I'm gonna do are gonna be 3 straight sets of the exercise followed by 1 AMRAP drop set. Now what this means is for the first 3 sets, they'll just be normal sets with the same weight, prescribed number of reps, etc., just as you would do a normal 3 sets of anything. And then that will be followed by 1 AMRAP drop set. Now AMRAP means as many reps as possible, and a drop set is where every time you finish a set, you drop the weight. So for that set, I'll start out with the same weight that I was using for the standard sets and do as many reps as possible, and then you drop the weight by about 50% and do again as many reps as you can, and you should only be able to hit about 6 to 10 reps because your muscles should already be pretty darn fatigued. And if you can do more than that, that probably means you weren't starting heavy enough to begin with, and then you drop it one more time and again do as many reps as possible. Again, it should be between 6 and 10 reps. And with this AMRAP drop set, there is as little rest in between the switching of the weights as possible. So it should be very continuous. And this is a great way to really burn out the muscle. Now, it's not something I'd recommend doing all the time. It really should be phased into your workouts appropriately. You shouldn't be training to fatigue all the time. If you do, you're probably gonna overtrain. But anyway, let's go do some drop steps.
How am I supposed to see if I am in darkness? I am in darkness, constantly restless, worried. I got a gun to my head, a gun to my head. I got a gun to my head, a gun to my head. I got a gun to my head, a gun to my head. I wanna be empty, be empty.
Workout accomplished. As you guys know, I am doing MAP Split. It's the program that I started when I first started my reverse diet. I'm going to be doing theoretically all the way through my cut, though depends on how long my cut goes. I'm currently in phase 3, which is a little bit higher rep than hypertrophy, and the purpose of this phase is to help your muscles adapt in a way that promotes maximum blood flow to your muscles while you're training. When you're in a deficit and you're trying to lose fat, it is super important to train in a way that promotes muscle growth, or at least promotes muscle maintenance. It's going to be very challenging to build muscle while you're in a deficit. So if you're trying to lose fat, I highly recommend making your primary method of training lifting heavy. I've made an entire video about why cardio is not optimal for fat loss, so I will link that right over there if you want to check that out. As I've said before, I don't plan on doing any cardio on this cut. I want to see how far I can get without it. Maintaining as much muscle as possible is not only going to help you look better once you lose fat, because you'll have more shape underneath and it'll give you more definition, but it'll also help keep your metabolism up, which in turn helps you continue to burn more fat. The more muscle you have on your body, the more calories your body has to expend to maintain that muscle. Muscle essentially gives you a passive form of calorie burn, so you'll burn more calories just sitting there, you'll burn more calories when you're sleeping, whereas cardio is a much more manual form of calorie burning. So with that being said, I think it's time for some breakfast. Let's go.
No joke, the first thing I did when I walked in the house was open this jar of pickled chickpeas and just start eating them. I think that means I'm hungry. I think that means I should just make breakfast.
I've decided to make just my standard chocolate peanut butter smoothie that I absolutely love. So just to show you what I'm throwing in it, we're starting with some almond milk, some amazing grass chocolate peanut butter protein powder, a little bit of cacao powder just to add extra chocolate, dates for sweetness, ground up flaxseed, some hemp seeds, some coconut, some nutso nut butter, and then for adaptogens, I'm going with the Longevity Power Maca Bliss and their Longevity in a Bottle blend.
If you want some heaven, just let me know.
And yes, I am eating my smoothie straight out of the blender. Don't want to do any extra dishes.
My favorite thing to do when I'm in a deficit is to start with protein and fat. So this smoothie does tend to have a few extra carbs. I don't really care about the carbs, I just care that I get in enough protein and fat because that is what keeps me satiated. But with regard to protein, oh my god, my mouth is like frozen. Talking is kind of difficult. With regard to protein specifically, that is another thing that's really important when trying to preserve muscle mass while you're on a cut. You want to make sure you're eating enough protein in conjunction with lifting heavy. Now, enough protein does not mean a ton of protein. I see some people eating like twice their body weight in grams in protein, and that's like absolutely not necessary. The highest amount of protein that you're gonna get benefit from is 1 gram per pound of lean body mass, not total body weight. If you're 300 pounds and 150 pounds of that is excess fat, you do not need to be eating 300 grams of protein. If you have a way of measuring your body fat percentage, just approximately, I know there's no 100% accurate way to do it, but if you have a scale that like will approximate your body fat percentage, or if you've had it done in a lab, or you can just look at yourself and kind of tell roughly what your body fat percentage is, you can use that to figure out your lean mass. It's just your body weight minus the amount of fat that is on your body. So if you're like 20% body fat, then 80% of your weight, so 0.8 times however much you weigh, is your lean mass. I am very roughly, approximately, didn't even do any math, but roughly 100 pounds of lean mass. So that means if I eat more than 100 grams of protein, I'm not really gonna get any added muscle building benefits. The research does show that as you increase protein while you're resistance training, you get a higher muscle building signal and you can build more and more muscle more efficiently until you start to plateau around 1 gram per pound of lean mass. So ideally you want to be between about 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of lean mass. That's a very good range to be in. You're not going to get only 70% of the benefits when you're at 0.7. That's just the range where most people are gonna start to plateau. I am out for my pre-sunset walk, and I just wanted to take a second to address some questions that I've been getting quite often since I have started my cut. So the number one thing, the number one rule, the only rule when it comes to losing fat is that you have to be in a calorie deficit. Doesn't matter what diet you're doing, doesn't matter if you're keto, vegan, paleo, etc. You have to be in a calorie deficit. Now, I have ranted quite often about how the ideal diet for weight loss is the one that makes your body feel best and helps it be as healthy as possible. So I will spare you the rant again, and I'll just link you my video about the best diet for weight loss, so that if you're curious about my thoughts on that, you can check that out. But overall, no matter what diet you're doing, you have to be in a calorie deficit. Another question that a lot of people have is how much of a deficit to be in. Now, I did kind of cover this in my summer weight loss plan video, so I will link that as well, but in general, I recommend being in a 15 to 20% deficit from maintenance. If this means your calories are gonna be really, really low, then I highly recommend reverse dieting before you try to cut. If you go into a super steep deficit, it's really hard to maintain that, and you're more than likely to end up just binging and rebounding and then yo-yoing from there. And the reason you don't want to be in a small deficit is because that's really easy for the body to adapt to that. Because with reverse dieting, and I think this is where some of the confusion's coming from, you do want it to be gradual because you want your body to adapt to that. You want your metabolism to speed up so that it can keep burning those calories. When you're in a deficit, you do not want your body adapting to the deficit because that's going to mean it's burning fewer and fewer calories. Think of it this way, when you're in a 15 to 20% deficit, it's a big enough deficit where as soon as you switch to those lower calories, your body's like, oh my god, we have so many fewer calories, what do? We need to do something. Where do we get energy from? Let's burn some fat. So with that size deficit, burning fat is going to be your body's go-to way of making up for that energy deficit. When you're in a much smaller deficit, your body's going to be like, oh hey, we're missing a few calories. Maybe we should just like burn fewer calories throughout the day because we're only burning like that many fewer calories and we'll be fine. And then you won't really lose fat. Your body will just adapt to lower calories. So when you're trying to prevent your body from adapting to a deficit, it's best to like get in and go all in to that deficit and then get the heck out. And by all in, I don't mean like starve yourself. I mean like a 15 to 20% deficit, and then get out so that your body doesn't adapt to it and it can burn fat efficiently when it is in a deficit. And this strategy also helps preserve muscle mass while you're trying to lose fat, because one of the biggest ways that the body adapts to slow its metabolism down is to get rid of muscle. Someone in this neighborhood is definitely barbecuing right now. now and it smells really good and it's making me really hungry. I'm very excited for my dinner. So dinner tonight is just gonna be roasted vegetables with shredded chicken, some sauce. I'll probably throw some avocado on it for extra calories. So I just have some butternut squash and then some carrots, and then I'm gonna chop up an onion and throw that in the oven when there's like, I don't know, 10 minutes left. I don't think I've ever roasted onion in the oven before, so we'll see how this goes. Gonna chop this up and hopefully not cry as a result. And also, I am watching Doctor Who while I cook, as per usual, and I've made it to the 12th Doctor. This is how my dinner ended up turning out. It is a giant plate of food, but I am very excited about it.
Fantastic.
A wild boyfriend appears. I'm not super excited about how the butternut squash turned out. It's a little bit mushy. For some reason it didn't get crispy, but that's okay. The carrots are delicious. And then of course I had to throw in some of the chickpeas from the farmer's market because those were delicious and I just wanted to eat more. The chicken, I put on some green goddess avocado sauce dressing, the one from Primal Kitchen, avocado, roasted onions, roasted carrots, and I think that's pretty much it. It's a huge plate of food. I am excited to eat it. My original plan was to have some chocolate for dessert, as per usual, but I was snacking on cherries as I was cleaning the dishes, and weirdly enough, that just totally satisfied my sweet tooth, and I have zero cravings, so I think I'm just gonna pass on the chocolate for tonight. It's also one of my favorite things about having huge dinners. It completely satisfies like any craving, and I don't get like late night snack cravings because I'm full and satiated. And next week I am going back to maintenance calories. I am determined to do this the correct way and to make sure my fat loss is steady and sustainable and healthy. But I guess we're all just gonna have to stick around to see if I end up being successful doing things the right way. Speaking of sticking around, if you do want to make sure that you see more videos from me in the future and see if this cut is successful following this method, make sure you hit that little subscribe button down there and hit the notification button if you want to be notified about my future videos, because I will be keeping you all up to date with this process. In the meantime, let me know down in the comments what you think. If any of you are cutting for summer, let me know how that's going. Please leave any questions, comments, concerns down in the comments below. If there's anything specific about this cutting process that you want me to address, definitely let me know down there and I'll do my best to address it in future videos. And if you're in the process of cutting for summer as well, let me know how that is going down below. Also, in the meantime, if you like this video, please do give it a big thumbs up because it really does support me and my channel, and I really genuinely appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends and your family and your neighbors. If you want to see more videos from me all about how I plan on losing fat and staying healthy while doing it, you can check those out over here. And my mom's coming to visit me, so I guess I will be seeing you guys after that, or maybe I'll vlog while she's here. I'm not sure yet. Either way, I'll see you soon. Bye.